Hello friends, Lee here from TableTop Bong. I'm going to do something a little bit different with this video today. I'm going to teach you a weed hack. Of course, I'm always teaching weed hacks, how to get the most out of your vaporizer, how to get the most out of the entire experience, how to cloud things up. But today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to teach you how I use weed to set myself up for the most intense and powerful meditation sessions. I've spent a long time working through the entire process of how to get the very most out of meditating to begin with. And then how can you couple that with marijuana to get even more out of that experience? So I'm going to walk you through exactly what I've learned over the years. I've done some high-level training as far as understanding energy and balance. I've done mastery level hypnosis training, as well as being a Reiki master teacher. And I don't even know how many modalities of energy healing I'm certified in now, a dozen or more anyway. None of that really is what will qualify me to have this conversation with you, though. It's my own experience and my own understanding that I've developed from just doing this over and over and over. I found what's successful and I found what didn't work for me. I don't know that this will work for you or for everyone. I know weed and meditation together is not for everyone. We're all individuals and we're all having our own experience. But quite often, one person's experience can cross over and help somebody else who's going through the exact same thing. So education and sharing obviously is so important. So that's exactly what I'm doing in this video. I'm just going to teach you exactly how I use weed to get a way better meditation than if I don't have weed at all. It's not all that complicated, and it's a lot more simplistic than you might think. What are we using weed for in the first place? Let's face it, we're using weed to adjust our own personal vibration in some way, shape, or form. That's what we need to do to go into a meditative state. We need to adjust our own personal vibration to have a different effect in our body, much like weed does. So these two things have a similarity. So then I looked at that and I said, if I put these together, what happens? And I went through a bunch of different ways of trying to do this, and then I realized what I need to do with it. I need to make it a ritual. I need to make it part of the meditation session. It's not separate. It is all part of it. It becomes the setup and the ritual I use before a meditation session to set my intention, to think clearly, what do I want to get out of this meditation session? And I know that the goal in meditation, of course, is to have our critical factor or conscious mind take a little bit of a nap. That's what we want it to do. We just want that part of our brain to take a nap while we access the unconscious or subconscious portion of our mind. That seems simple enough. It's the same process in hypnosis, of course. When you consider hypnosis or a guided meditation that takes you into a meditative state, very, very similar. The mind space is very, very similar. And what I know for sure is I've hypnotized so many people now. I know that every single person is capable of going into a state of hypnosis should they choose to. I know not everybody will go into that state, like a meditative state, with ease and comfort. But I've also figured out with those people how to work through that quite simply. I just tell them to pretend. I tell them don't do it. Don't go into a meditative or hypnotic state. Please stay conscious and aware. Hold on to all of your control. Just simply pretend to follow each and every one of my commands. And that person, 99.9 out of 100 times, goes into a very deep meditative or hypnotic state in a very short period of time because they release their mental resistance. And that's what we're doing when we're having a session before meditation, is we're releasing that conscious or unconscious, depends on who you are, but there is a resistance to meditation that most people feel until they really understand how to adjust their own personal vibration. So I used weed as a way to do that, as a way to gain that understanding, as a way to adjust my personal vibration to allow me to allow myself to go into a meditative state. And that's exactly what it is. You have to allow yourself the freedom to be playful in that state of mind and to truly believe that you're accessing something much greater than your conscious thoughts. What makes that easier? Not much more than weed, in my own personal opinion. You have to select the right strain and you need to know yourself. The goal is not to get blasted before you meditate. That is not the goal. The goal, if you think about it like having a glass of wine or two, which takes the edge off, that's exactly what we're doing. We're taking the edge off while adjusting our own personal vibration. If you know yourself and your strains, you can do this quite simply. For myself, I typically vape on high temperatures because I really like the heavy effects that you can get out of these different vaporizers, and that's why I'm teaching you guys all the different hacks I am in the other videos that I shoot, because it's so much fun to get there. But I also realize that that's not, for me, aligned with meditation. That's a different state of mind. So for me, I look at temperature first and I go with 375 degrees because I normally vape on 410, 420. So I'm dropping it way down and I'm having a much lighter experience. Lower temperatures, in my opinion, are important because you don't want to cause yourself to be coughing, and in that state, you're adjusting your vibration into something calmer and slower, because of course the more you slow yourself, the more you will elevate your own personal frequency, which makes it easier to connect into the overall consciousness when you're in that meditative state. So I understand temperature is important. I use 375. If you normally vape at 380, try 360. Try 370. Just drop it down a little bit so it's a bit lighter of an experience. Next, don't overdo it. For me personally, I have quite a high tolerance, so I'll vape 2 full bowls in their entirety before I begin a meditation session. For me, that's about 10 minutes, and it's a perfect amount of time to go through all the mental things I want to go through and to hit my checklist and to complete my entire ritual. 10 minutes is about what I need. So 2 bowls, 10 minutes, it all seems to work out quite nicely, and I get more out of a shorter meditation by adding this 10 minutes in on the front end than I will if I don't do this ritual now. So it's really become part of the entire experience of meditating, is to sit and take this time to set my intention about the meditation, to set my mind and my body into the right space and the right frequency before I begin asking my body and my critical factor to relax. If I'm not already set up for that, then I'm beginning a meditation session with so much personal resistance to the experience that I'm asking my mind and my body to do, but I'm not aligned with it yet. I haven't slowed down. I haven't said to myself, what is it I want to get out of this meditation? Of course, we can use meditation for all kinds of things. Do you need a divine understanding? Do you want to connect into the collective and learn something new? Do you want to connect with somebody who's passed? Do you want to just feel someone's energy that you love and isn't with you? You can do all kinds of things with meditation because, of course, in a meditative state, you're not bound by anything except your own personal imagination. That's the only limitation that you actually have in meditation. And that's an important thing to realize, because if we're limited by our imagination, I know I'm a little more imaginative after a couple of bowls than I am at the end of a workday, for instance, when my shoulders are up here and, I'm feeling what I've been through all day long and my energy is a little bit low, and, I've been involved with a lot of people and their energy and different exchanges. That doesn't set me up for meditation. But vaping a couple bowls does. So while I'm vaping it, I'm asking myself certain questions. What am I going to get out of this meditation? What's the purpose? That's the very first thing I have to understand. I have to set a strong intention. It's like getting in your car and setting your GPS with the appropriate coordinates so you can get where you want to go. If you get in your car and you just start driving and you're not sure how to get to the destination or what the destination is, you're unlikely to get there. So this is like setting your GPS, setting the coordinates of where you're going. Just thought I'd go through this bowl while we're having this conversation. So I set my intention very strongly to a particular direction. That's the first thing I need to know. What am I getting out of this? Then I have a starting point. That doesn't take all that long to do. You sit down, take a couple of deep breaths, start to preheat your vaporizer and ask yourself, what do I want to get out of this meditation session? And then you start to think about it and start to go ahead and pull on your vape. And think inside your mind. This is part of my process. This is how I am adjusting my personal vibration to make it much more comfortable and easier for me to go into a meditative state, because meditation is a very natural state that for many people feels unnatural, but it's a supernatural state. It's actually a state of heightened awareness. That's exactly what it is. Your unconscious is so hyper aware of everything that's going on, and it allows you to connect into places and spaces that you just can't get to with your conscious mind. So I sit and I spend a little time in that as I'm pulling on my vape. Then I take it one step further. I imagine to myself, if I achieved this feeling or this understanding or whatever it is I'm doing in meditation at that time, if I were to achieve that, what would that feel like? What would it feel like to have the exact outcome that I want at the end? And I look at that and I imagine that exact feeling. Again, this is part of setting your coordinates in the GPS to tell your mind where you're going. It's easier to get to a feeling than it is to get to words. The body, the mind, spirit understands feelings, emotions in the feel. The words almost don't matter. You can say whatever words you want. It's what you're feeling. That's your true intention that you're setting. And that's why sitting and vaping a couple bowls and digging into this, it really helps you get your body and your mind in the exact space that you want to be in. Then I go one step further. Once I know what that would feel like for me, to have that sensation, that understanding, whatever the purpose of the meditation was, I then take that in my mind and I cast that out onto every single person that is existing on this earth at this particular time. And I imagine, what if everyone got that same feeling about whatever was important to them at the time? And I try and amplify. I amplify exactly what that would feel like by considering it washing across the globe and letting everybody have a taste of that feeling, that surety, that sense of home that comes from meditation. If everybody felt that, what would happen? What wave of energy would move around the globe? And I get playful with that in my own mind, because if I understand I'm part of a greater collective, if I ask it for myself, I truly am asking it for everyone, so I might as well just take the time to imagine the outcome, because of course I want everybody to get the same benefit, that I get from personally adjusting my own vibration. That's how we can all share love in this world. Sitting by ourselves, we can impact many, many things. Imagine what it would be like if everybody did that before they meditated and spread that love all over the globe. It's a pretty beautiful thing. So once I've got all of that accomplished and I've been vaping my bowls, once I've completed my 2 bowls and enjoyed the overall experience, I know I'm now set up for a really good meditation. The next thing I do is I put myself into a circle of white light, because that is the space for me where I feel most comfortable and I feel safest being in a meditative state. And I just simply suggest to myself inside my mind that I'm putting myself in that circle of white light to protect myself from any low-level energies or anything that just may be less than positive, so that I can feel safe inside that space. And I take it and I expand it out through the power of my imagination to be about a 50-foot circle all the way around me. I don't want to feel cramped. I want to feel like I have space to be playful in my meditation. So I move my circle to about 50 feet is how I imagine that. And I've done all of this with 0 resistance, because I have the function in front of me of vaping some weed, and that's just enough to keep my conscious mind busy while I'm doing this entire setup. It's just something to focus on that stops me from thinking about other things. You know, obviously I've invented this bong system, and it was actually born in meditation. I saw the whole thing in a meditative state, and then I had to figure out how to put it all together, which is how it seems to work for me with a lot of things in meditation. I see the outcome, and then I reverse engineer things, right? Like, we all have a different process, but for me, that's how it works. And I saw this entire water filtration system in that state. And I came out of that state, and it took me a little bit of time, but of course I got all the components together and I figured it out because I could see what was supposed to happen. That was shown to me through meditation. My intention on that meditation was just to see what was supposed to be shown to me that day. Nothing more, nothing less. I just allowed myself to be in the space and to take the time to connect into the collective. And that was the result for me. So I felt like perhaps weed and meditation do align, since this is what was born from that space for me. Not everybody will have that experience. We're all individual in our experiences. But I can tell you the only limitation is going to be imagination. Vaping a couple bowls and setting yourself up with the right ritual to begin your meditation. It'll take a little more time, but you'll have a great meditative experience, and you can really gain so much personal healing from doing this. I hope you got something out of this. I hope it's helped you in any way at all understand a little bit better what can be done with the combination of weed and meditation. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this. If you did get something out of this, please like and subscribe, and I'll continue to bring you more content like this. If there's something specific you'd like to see, do me a favor, drop it in the comments, and of course I will do everything in my power to produce the videos that people are asking me to produce. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, take care.